How long will it take for you to overcome your addiction to pornography? Over the last 5 years, I've had thousands of conversations with men that are caught up in this addiction, struggling with breaking free from an addictive and compulsive behavior with porn and masturbation. And I've had the great honor and pleasure to witness well over 700 men now at this point through our Reboot Your Life program walk the path to absolute freedom and go on to create a porn free life. Now, it's interesting because some of these men that get freedom, it seems like it happens in a moment, a sheer day, one decision, one moment in time. We can look back on and see that this was the defining moment in their path. So, did they overcome pornography in one day? And then on the other hand, some of the first men that I spoke to back in 2019 still reach out to me today. Frank, I'm still struggling. I'm caught up in the behavior. Yet they've done the work. They've watched the videos, they've executed the assignments, they've created new habits, they've created meaning in their life, yet they're still struggling. So, will these men never get freedom? Well, if we buy into the premise and believe the statement that the only way to overcome your addiction to pornography is to become the man that is no longer addicted to porn, in that word becoming, we must recognize that there's an identity change, there's a shift in who we are, it's a shift in who we must become. So if there's a man in the future that we are not yet, and that man will be the one that creates the life of freedom for us, we have to recognize that there's a gap. There's a gap from who we are today to who it is we need to become. And resting in that gap is the answer to the question, how long will it take for me to overcome pornography addiction? Here at Rebuilt Recovery, we look at recovery from addiction through the lens of growth. It's a fully integrated, growth centric approach, is what we use here, based on holistic, fundamental principles. But what I mean when I say we look at recovery through the lens of growth is we must grow into this man. Now, once again, the answering of the question, how long will it take for you, will be dictated by how much growth it is that is required. So, a man that is just starting down on this path and is in his early 20s and has never picked up a book, has never been intentional about his fitness, has never done inner work to ask the necessary questions, has never developed any tools to self regulate his emotions, he's going to have a longer journey than the man that is in his 40s and has spent decades developing himself, has spent decades building a career, has dedicated his life to his family, to becoming the man, the rock that his home needs. That man is one, two decisions away. Where, on the other hand, the man that is in his early 20s may have years of development. But it's recognizing that within you first that is going to be important for you to know, how long will this journey take? Now, yes, we can talk about the trauma healing and the recovery of the past and getting to the root cause. Yes, all this must happen. But a lot of that can't happen until you stop watching pornography. You see, you'll never be able to get to the root of the issue if you don't go a long enough period of time to identify where these triggers and roots are coming up in your life. You'll never be able to heal the trauma in your life if every time you're struggling with negative emotions, you run to pornography to escape and to numb yourself. See, because it's in those emotional states that the trauma healing will take place. So you have to quit the behavior first and then grow into the person that can live without it. Now, once again, that gap, the length of time, the answer to the question, how long will it take, will be first predicated and dictated by how big of a gap that it is. Do you possess some self regulation tools, yet you're just not using them? Do you know the answers to the questions of what you should do when you're triggered, yet you're just not acting on it? So that's the development of discipline. That's the development of willpower. That's the development of doing what is necessary, of being a man that honors and keeps his word. So for those of you, you probably are a lot closer than you actually believe. And that's a big word right there as well. Is if you don't believe that you can become this man, then the answer to the question, how long will it take? It'll take until you believe in yourself. And I think that right there is probably one of the biggest things that holds more men back than anything, is they've just been struggling with this behavior for so long. I can't tell you the amount of men that are in their late 30s, early 40s. These men are thriving in many areas of their life, running massive companies, large corporations, working their way up the corporate ladder, partners in law firms. These are A-type men. These are high performance men. And in fact, this is the vast majority of the men that we ultimately help. Because it's not that they were struggling with the tools. It's not that they didn't lack the confidence to get things done. Because when you look at their life, they've gotten a lot done. It's for them, it's been such a part of their life for so long that when they look in the mirror, they identify themselves as an addict, as somebody that will always struggle with this behavior. Now, you can shift your belief, I believe, in a moment of a time. Literally 1 second, the way that you see, talk, frame yourself can radically shift how you then step out into the world. You know, I always remember the Tony Robbins statement. I've talked about this here a lot. But Tony Robbins, obviously the greatest self-development coach, leader, massive influence on my life. He shares this story of two men that attended one of his seminars early on in the Tony Robbins days. These men were both trying to overcome a smoking addiction. They were brought up to the stage and they were asked, hey, if you were given a cigarette or if you were offered a cigarette, how would you respond? The first individual said, I would say, no, I'm no longer a smoker. The second individual replied with saying, no, I'm trying to quit. You see, it's in that identification of I am no longer a smoker that the belief is formed. So for you, are you identifying as a porn addict? When you look at yourself in the mirror, do you see a man that no longer needs porn? So to answer the question, how long will it take to overcome your pornography addiction? It's completely up to you. I believe right now you can begin to identify yourself as the man that no longer looks at porn. But then from there, it's recognizing, okay, what is the gap in me and in my life that I need to fill? And what do I need to fill that gap with? Chances are it's going to be the development of some skills. It's going to be the development of some tools, perhaps even be a community. And if you want a system that is going to give you those tools, right now you can get our entire 16-week Reboot Your Life program. This program has walked well over 700 men at this point now down the path of absolute freedom. We normally sell the course by itself for $297. We sold it as high up as $3,000. But right now, by listening and watching to this video here on YouTube, or if you're listening to the podcast on the audio side, I'm going to give you access to the entire course, 100% guaranteed. And if it doesn't work, there's a 365-day money-back guarantee. But here's the best thing, is it's not $297. It's not $197. Right now, today, for $99, yes, that is less than $1 per day over the next 16 weeks to walk you to the path of freedom, to give you the system, to develop the tools, to fill the gap within you so that you can begin to live this life 100% porn free. Click the link down there below. Visit rebuildrecovery.com/no brainer. There's no discount code needed. You simply click the buy now button. And like I said, the entire 16-week program, lifetime access to this, will be yours for just $99 today. And guys, if you're getting value out of these episodes, please take a moment and leave us a 5-star rating and written review. And if you're watching here on the YouTube side, hit that subscribe button, turn those post notifications on. We're dropping 3 episodes a week of The Rebuilt Man. But your host, Coach Frank Rich. You can quit porn in 1 day and then become the man that no longer needs it. God bless you guys. See you in the next one.